we will just read this report first, the complete report we'll read out, and you will realize throughout the report, the whole report is all about the factual information, data from various sources supporting the topic, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is that nowhere you will find that some explanation is given or some issue has been discussed, some questions raised, some opinions or suggestions are there. Everywhere the lines talk about what research or what somebody has said, how various organizations involved have reported something. Whatever is written is some kind of data based on which the topic is being discussed. Hello friends, so there is one more topic of report. Domestic violence in India. Again, you don't have to write this, you don't have to write this. You can write your name, your place, like as ABC and XYZ as it is written. You can write the date, right? So you can write any date like 25th May 2025. You can write like this. Now we will just read this report first. The complete report we'll read out, and you will realize throughout the report, the whole report is all about the factual information, data from various sources supporting the topic, right? Once we read out this, you will realize that this is how the report is different from AC. So let's just read this out. In 2024, domestic violence remained a pervasive issue in India, with data indicating a troubling rise in reported cases despite legislative and social interventions. According to the NCRB data, over 1.5 lakh cases of cruelty by spouses or relatives were registered in 2023, with a 12% increase observed in the first quarter of 2024 compared to 2023. States such as UP, Maharashtra, West Bengal accounted for 45% of the total cases as per NCRB provisional data. Now comes a statutory body named as National Commission for Women, reported 30% surge in complaints via its helpline number 181 between January and May 2024, with 65% linked to physical abuse and dowry harassment. A 2024 survey by the Center for Social Research, a very well-known think tank, revealed that 42% of women in rural India faced domestic violence, often unreported due to social stigma. For instance, in Haryana's Sonipat district, a May 2024 case involving the death of 24-year-old woman highlighted systematic delays in police response despite prior cases. Economic stressors post-pandemic worsened the crisis. A UN Women study, now the involvement of international organizations, noted that 38% of women in low-income urban households experienced heightened abuse linked to unemployment. So what are the other reasons? Unemployment and financial disputes. In Kerala, a 2024 NGO report documented a 20% rise in cyber-enabled domestic violence, including blackmail via intimate images. Government initiatives such as One Step Center scheme provided support to 2.1 lakh survivors in 2023-24 as per Ministry of Women and Child Development. However, the Law Commission 2024 report flagged poor conviction rates, right? The next part of it, 18% nationally, and delays in trials with 70% of cases pending in the courts for over 2 years. Okay, so judiciary के role के बारे में भी लिखा है. The last paragraph, which जिसकी जरूरत actually नहीं है, लेकिन वो इसलिए लिखा है कि इसमें से जो आपको याद रहेगा, you can write it down. Civil society organizations like Majlis Legal Center emphasized gaps in the implementing the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, particularly in rural areas. April 2024, the Supreme Court directed states to fast-track domestic violence cases and ensure compulsory gender sensitization for police, following a PIL highlighting institutional apathy in Jharkhand. Now, what do you think? There are two things which I would like to talk about. First, we cannot write like this. It is not possible to write like this in 10 minutes. We cannot remember this much data regarding a specific topic because we read a lot of things. We try to remember a lot of data and it is not with us all the time. So some of the data from this report can stay with us. We can use some of the data. Again, this report is too big. We don't have to write this much, right? They have total 5 paragraphs actually. So you can finish in 3 paragraphs, at max 4 paragraphs. So you have to count the number of words and you'll understand, okay, this much is enough, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is that nowhere you will find that some explanation is given or some issue has been discussed, some questions raised, some opinions or suggestions are there. Everywhere the lines talk about what research or what somebody has said, how various organizations involved have reported something. Whatever is written is some kind of data based on which the topic is being discussed. This is what report is all about. Even though I understand that this is basically a bombarding of data, we are not going to write this much of data. It is not humanly possible to remember all of this. But even if you're able to write 50% of it, still it is good. But see, if you try to understand, say for example, in Kerala, a 2024 NGO report documented. Now you don't know the name of the NGO, but you just write a NGO report. Still, it is fine. 20% rise. Even if you have written like 25% or 10%, it is fine because this much figure is acceptable. Even if you write 40%, it is fine. So you just have to understand where to use approx data. Okay. So approximately, if you have written 25%, even if you don't remember exact 20%, but still you can write approx 25% rise in cyber enabled domestic violence, including blackmailing. You can write like this. Now, whenever it comes to woman, you should remember that okay, uske liye ek kanun hai. You can use that. You can use a statutory body. You can use some think tanks, and NCRB is always there for you. So always try to remember that you should have such kind of information of NCRB, National Family Health Survey, and such popular survey and reports with you. Try to revise all the time so that you can use that not only in report but in essay and arguments too. Okay. So what point I'm trying to prove is that even though we can't write this much precisely, but report is all about bombarding of data. Okay, report is all about data in the center and the sentence around it, one after other. In fact, in case of report, you don't have to worry about the logical sequencing too much. Until unless एकदम haphazard आपने लिखा है, लेकिन आप बस बता रहे हो कि ये है, ये भी वही प्रूव करता है. अगर ये जो पैराग्राफ है, ये पैराग्राफ यहाँ होता या ये यहाँ होता, तो इससे कुछ खास फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ठीक है? So in essay we have to worry about the logical sequence and the flow. In report you don't have to worry too much about it until unless as I told you कि बहुत ही एकदम कहीं कुछ भी लिख दिया है, फिर वापस रिपीटेशन हो रहा है. ऐसा अगर नहीं हो रहा है, so you are just writing कि ये भी है, मुझे ये भी पता है, ये भी सुन लो, ये भी सुन लो, खत्म. This is all about report writing. So facts और data के around जो sentences build होते हैं, डायरेक्टली कोई इंट्रोडक्शन, कोई कंक्लूजन नहीं, आप डायरेक्टली बता रहे हो कि क्या हुआ है, कहाँ हुआ है, कैसे हुआ है, या किस तरह के इंसिडेंट्स हो रहे हैं, बेस्ड ऑन डेटा ऑफ कोर्स. ठीक है? यू आर ब्रिंगिंग वेरियस स्टेक होल्डर्स लाइक नेशनल कमीशन, यूएन वुमेन. ठीक है? गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स यू आर आल्सो मेंशनिंग अबाउट देम. ठीक है? दिस इज हाउ वी राइट रिपोर्ट. सो ऑब्वियसली इट विल नॉट बी देयर, मतलब एकदम अभी अभी लिखना शुरू कर दिया और आ गया, ऐसा नहीं है. बट जो चीज समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, दैट इट इज हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम एसे, उसको समझने की कोशिश की. Once you understand that, with a lot of practice, you can definitely write about it. Again, try to understand. टॉपिक जो है वो सरप्राइज है, आपको नहीं पता क्या आएगा. तो बस फोकस में रखिए कि उसके रिगार्डिंग क्या स्टैटिक डेटा है जो मैं उठा के ला सकता हूँ. कैन आई रिलेट इट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आर्टिकल और सम एक्ट व्हिच आई हैव हर्ड अबाउट, और सम statutory body or some other stakeholders, its impact on society or various sections of society, maybe women, children or old age people. Okay, use of approximate words, use of some NGOs, even though you are not aware about the NGO, but some NGO, some report by NGOs, you can write like that. Approximate data का इस्तेमाल करके you can write a report. ठीक है? So this is how a report should be written. Okay, thank you.